Hello everyone. Let's continue with our playlist Technical Project or Internship Report Editing. In the previous two videos, we have seen what should be the contents of the cover sheet and how to format it by taking some 4 to 5 samples, and we also saw what was wrong and how it should have been in actually been formatted. In this video and the subsequent videos, we will see what should be the contents of the main section, that is the body of the report, and how to edit it. Before we begin, I found this post on LinkedIn with the heading 10 Steps to Research Excellence. That is, if you're trying to publish a technical paper, what all chapters or headings need to be present there. 10 chapters or 10 headings, all the topics come even for the academic report, but the first two topics we will be covering it in the cover sheets. So that is what is the topic here. They say you have to choose a topic based on acrid principle, that is approve, create, recreate, improve or disapprove. Usually we take something called as a null hypothesis, that is it is not proved or disapproved. For example, walking 10,000 steps a day is helpful. That is a null hypothesis. We don't know. We have to perform some experiments, gather data, and all those things, and then approve or disapprove it. So that is called as approve or disapproving the null hypothesis. Then you might be creating something very new, or recreating something with a different algorithm, or improving the existing based on some fine tuning parameters, or slightly changing the algorithms or combining several algorithms. That is how we choose a topic, and our topic will be usually mentioned on the front sheet of the covering pages. Then abstract is a summary. It should be short. It should define what is your purpose and what is your contribution, and the novelties along with the keyword. This we will be covering it in the cover sheets for an academic project or internship report. And the main section or the body of the report in all these chapters from chapter number 3 to chapter number 10 as shown in this post. That is introduction. What is my topic? Why am I choosing this topic? And how am I contributing to this topic? Sorry. Then the literature review, you could be doing literature in the topic itself, literature on the method. You are trying to find some hole in the previous existing work, and try to debate with that in case if you are trying to disapprove. This will be the literature review, the existing literature, what was there and how have they done, how you are contributing to that existing literature by bringing some novelty or some changes. Okay. Then methodology is how are you doing that contribution, the procedure that you're following. It could be block diagram, algorithm, the detailed implementation methodology that you're following. Then preliminary data, here they've called it as the result section. That is, what exactly have you done, what are your findings, compare it with the existing paper or the base paper is the reference paper. In literature review we find tens of paper, but you would have got idea from one single paper or one or two maximum paper, that you call it as your base or reference paper. Then you discuss your result or interpret your result, why it is correct, and are you proving your null hypothesis or disapproving it, all those things. Then limitation, that is what your research is not covering, what are the parameters based on which you have conducted this research, and this research output is applicable only with those parameters. It might vary with other parameters. Then conclusion is you are explaining your contribution, your importance, what is your work and how have you implemented, and how do you why do you justify your results. Then references are literature review. You have referred to so many papers, you can cite them. That is the last chapter. The same thing follows not just for a technical paper but also for our college project reports or research internships as well. Project as in it could be mini project or a major project. Then there is something called as research internship nowadays, that is you are doing some research based project under one of your professors in the college, in their research lab. That is research internship. So in the body of the report, after the cover pages, you will find these many topics. One is introduction, literature review, block diagram and flowchart, methodology, implementation details, results, advantages, limitations, conclusion and future scope, preferences. It is almost the same as what we saw in the previous post. Let me just go through them briefly. Introduction is you are trying to introduce your topic. Usually you put in some facts, like why did you choose this topic. For example, somebody is trying to create an app for booking buses. Okay, something similar to Redbus. They're trying to do it in their mini project. Okay, now they have to put a fact, like how many people are daily using the buses. So you are creating this app, and later you can prove your advantages as per the introduction. Then literature review, what are the existing topics or methods that are already available in this domain, and is there any lacunas in those method, gaps in those method. That is what you are trying to bring up in the literature review at the end. Then block diagram and flowchart. If yours is a completely hardware project, you might be having only block diagram. If it's a completely software project, you'll have flowchart. If it's a combination of both hardware and software, you will have the block diagram, the different hardware blocks that you have. And flowchart is the algorithm, what is the step by step instructions that are executed. That is what we write in the flowchart. Then methodology is you are explaining your block diagram and flowchart in words in details. Block diagram and flowchart will be usually diagrams which you create on your own rather than copying from existing literature. Basically, your base paper, you can do it as per your project in the Word or Paint. Then methodology, you are explaining them in detail. What is the input of this block? What is the output of this block? uh, what is the input to this flow chart, at what are you trying to do in that particular flow chart, like that. Then implementation details, you are trying to tell what type of data have you collected, whether it's a primary data which you collected by yourself on your project, or was it an existing data from newspaper, or if you are doing some machine learning projects, you usually find data sets from Kaggle. So that is a secondary data. Then each and every detail about how you have implemented your block diagram and flow chart, the sub blocks, that is what you have to write it here. Then result, you have implemented, what was the input to your first sub block, and what was the output as per the implementation details that you have just explained in the previous chapter. You finally, what is the overall result, what is the advantage. You have emphasized your project is of importance, it is relevant to the current status in the society by putting some facts in the introduction. So from your project, what are the advantages, and what are the limitations, what you have not covered, or what type of data you have selected, when is your project applicable and not applicable. Then finally you are concluding, and what could be the future scope, how can you extend this project further. Then references which you have used throughout your project, uh, either in the literature review, block diagram, flowchart. You might have copied methodology from somebody in the mini project stage and all. It will be you are trying to implement something that is already existing, but in your own way. Okay, so you have to cite from whom you have got this idea, and from where did you get the study materials, all the resources that you have used while creating this report. What would be the contents if it is for the industry internship. Here the chapters are completely different in an industry internship. In the first chapter, you explain about the company, what is the vision mission of the company, what is the history, what is the revenue, what are the research and operating segments that are there, what are the different products and services, as what is the organization structure, who was the CEO, when was this company founded, all those. Then coming to the department, department is not the department in your college where you're studying. For example, you might be studying in mechanical, civil, electronics. We are not talking about that department in this chapter. We are talking about the department inside the company where you are interning. Just like how in engineering colleges there are different branches and therefore different departments, similarly a company will have different departments: IT department, HR department. If you take say automotive industries like Bosch, Continental, they will have sub blocks, sub departments, which they usually refer to as business units or BUs, like passive safety BU, active safety BU, vehicle dynamics, engine departments. So you have to tell about the all the departments that are present inside your company at your particular location. All departments may not be present in your location. For example, the company might be having headquarters at Delhi, but in Bangalore they might be having only three departments. So, and in that department you are working for one department. At the end you brief out about your departments, the nature of projects that they do, all those. Of course, when you are putting about the company information, you have to take permission from your manager what data you're putting in your report, because some of them will be confidential. Then the third chapter is the task that you have performed. You might have performed various technical and non-technical tasks during your internship. They might have given you some small project activity. Everything you have to tell there. That is what is the topic about that you working on, what is the methodology you followed, what are the results that you finally got. Then remotes, as in what do you reflect about your experience at the company working as an intern for the past, say, 12 weeks, 15 weeks, or 6 months, or 1 year. This is the same even for MTech students or ME students. It's not just for UG but also for PG students. It could be technical, non-technical. You would have learned so many things, okay, once you go inside the company. Then any references, for example, about the company and all, you would have taken from some company documents, or from, say, from Wikipedia. You cite all those references, okay. Then there is something called as technical seminar also in both UG as well as PG. That is also part of sorry, that also has a report to make. Is it completely different from what report that we are trying to do here? No. Technical seminar also follows the contents of your project report itself. But the only difference is, in technical seminar you are trying to understand a technical paper that has been published by somebody, and you are telling about their methodology, implementation details, and so on, by in your words, okay. You are trying to interpret an existing technology which somebody else has done in your words. That is also an important skill, because when you go to a company, somebody would have written the code, somebody would have done the documentation. You need to understand it. You might not be put completely to a new project. The project might have been existing from so many days, so that person might have left the company. So you need to have the skills based on the current documentation and code that is written. You should be able to interpret and understand what exactly is your project, all those things. So that is what they're trying to teach in the technical seminar. So the contents will be same as a project report, but there it is not your results, your methodology, it is somebody's else which you are trying to explain in your own words as per your understanding. In the subsequent videos, we will open a format for the main section that has been given in some of the colleges, and try to explore what are the mistakes that those reports have and how it should have been edited. Thank you.